And our first bill will be AB 1078, Assemblymember Fuhrer. And Senator Ashburn and I will do all that's needed today. We'll just leave it at that. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
With some assistance from Senator Harman.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. I'm here to present AB 1078, a very important jobs bill. And before I start, I want to state that I will accept as author's amendments the amendments that are contained in the committee analysis, which include adding our colleague Senator Huff as a principal co-author of the bill, and also a notice provision that was requested by Senator Oropesa.
Yes.
Let me boil down the bill to its essence. In 2008, I authored legislation that became Measure R in Los Angeles. It's a measure that enabled the voters to decide for themselves to impose a sales tax increase that will create $40 billion of revenue over 30 years to dramatically transform Los Angeles' transportation system. The measure is now underway, and work is beginning to collect the money. There's planning underway. In the meantime, we've confronted this tremendous recession and a tremendous need for more jobs. The mayor of Los Angeles and leaders across the country, Republicans and Democrats, have joined together around an idea called the 30-10 plan that would change that 30-year work plan for that $40 billion and say we're going to accomplish all these changes in 10 years. It requires the federal government to assist with money up front, and discussions that would enable that to happen are underway right now. The measure that I authored, however, provided for a year's worth of notice for any changes in the schedule by which the projects would be built. That doesn't work with a 30-10 plan. The board of the MTA, which governs transportation in Los Angeles County, unanimously seeks this legislation, which enables the county to accelerate, not to delay, but to accelerate projects to effectuate the 30-10 program were we successful in getting federal funds. So this is a bill, again, as indicated by Senator Huff's principal co-authorship. It's a bipartisan bill. It has no opposition. And the point is, can't we all get up behind the notion of accelerating projects, getting federal funds to do that, and ideally stimulating the creation of thousands and thousands of jobs right when we need them the most. And with that, I urge an aye vote.
Assemblymember, I'm going to read the actual amendment because we do not have that in print.
Oh, excuse me, okay.
So I think it's real important to at least put that on the record. And this is the amendment at the request that you will be accepting at the request of Senator Oropesa, that the board shall provide prior written notice shall provide to the members of the legislature representing the County of Los Angeles of any proposed amendments to the adopted expenditure plan that would accelerate funding for a project or projects in the adopted expenditure plan.
And again, I'm absolutely delighted to accept that amendment.
Thank you.
And with that, I urge an aye vote.
That will be accepted as an author's amendment. That should be A2. All right. Are there any questions from members of the committee? Not hearing any. Since we do not have a quorum, once we do have a quorum, I'll entertain a motion for the bill. But right now, would you like to close or have witnesses in support?
I do witness. I think just available to answer questions. I just want to say I thoroughly appreciate the cooperation that enables this bill to be before you today, Mr. Chair and colleagues, and look forward to an aye vote when the time is right.
And again,
thank you very much.
This committee was very supportive of your original work and to get to do the enabling legislation that enabled Measure R to be on. This we did not anticipate at that time, the expedited process that is taking place. This is consistent, and I hope that this committee passes this.
Thank you, and I really appreciate the Chair's leadership on the Measure R legislation and all things important to the transportation community. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Senator DeSaulnier, is he in? He may be. Is he on his way? Thank you.
Okay, I'll wait in the audience 2 weeks.
Who's doing firefighters' license plates? To do whatever you must do at this moment. I believe it begins with you're presenting a bill.
I'm
Not
presenting a
sure
bill,
where
Mr.
it
Chair.
ends. We are a subcommittee, operating as a subcommittee, Senator.
Well, Mr. Chair, would you like me to begin?
Yes, I would. An SB 88.
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the committee.
It's delightful to be here under such enlightened leadership with such a fine staff, most of the staff.
Speaking to the two of us. Enlightened leadership.
I don't usually read statements, but if Senator Ashburn's going to stand back there, I think I will.
Yes.
Yes. The Assembly amendments to SB 88 changed the bill's previous contents and inserted language related to firefighter license plates. What this bill does is extend the period of time that a spouse can take the license plate of a firefighter who's lost their lives. 60 days is in current law. This allows longer period of time, given that under these circumstances it's easy to understand that changing some of the documents with DMV might be a problem. It also allows the license plate to be transferred to some other family member if they so choose to, and it changes the fee for the registration for these plates that continues to go into a fund that helps the families of deceased firefighters. That's, in a nutshell, is what the bill does. It's had support on both sides of the aisle, and I would ask for your aye vote.
Do you have witnesses in support?
No.
No. I realize this is the first bill that we've ever heard that doesn't have witnesses in support.
Would you like me to speak on that?
You might consider the author.
All right, that we have one witness. We will take that as an extenuating
I had a question,
circumstance.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Harmon.
Yeah, this funds the California Firefighters Memorial Fund. Is that correct? Is it the sole source of funding for that fund, or does that fund, I'm sure they probably get contributions?
There are other funds. Staff may know what the other funds are. I'm not aware of them right now, but they get multiple funds. And this fund also goes to a separate fund that helps the family members when a firefighter has fallen.
They also have there's a checkoff on the income tax form.
Is there?
Yeah.
How much does the license fee generate annually for this fund? Does anybody know?
I do not know the answer to that.
That's the existing $35?
Yes.
I don't know. Unfortunately,
Because I see in my notes that the sales of these particular licenses have been going down in recent years, and I'm concerned that we're adding a fee onto it, aren't we?
Well, it's 35. We're increasing the fee
From 35 to 50.
for the initial, and then $5 every year from 30 to 35, the ongoing fee.
15 for renewal, additional, according to
No,
mine.
first time 15 and $5 additional renewal. I think the original fee for the license plate now is at 35. That will be increased to 50. All renewals will go from $30 to $35.
Right.
So after the initial $15 addition, you will have an annual fee of an additional fee of $5.
And most of that is just to cover the additional cost for the DMV to process it. So if there's anything left, it'll go to the fund. Because theoretically, there'll be more requests for the transfer.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Are there any witnesses in opposition? If not, any other questions from members of the committee?
Mr. Chairman, just a comment.
Yes.
The problem that's presented in this bill is that a good program is not receiving sufficient revenue to support the service. And probably that is so because, as Senator Harmon's question points out, the sales of these licenses has declined. This bill goes in the opposite direction of what should be done. It adds to the price. It makes this more expensive, which means that even less will be sold, even less revenue would be generated. So with all sincerity, we really ought to take a look at the ideal pricing to maximize the number of participants in the program. And because the bill doesn't do that, I'm going to oppose it.
I hesitate to respond. I just respectfully The point of the bill is, from my perspective, is not the issue whether there's lower sales or higher sales. It's to allow for the spouse to have more time to actually take the license plate over, and that other family members would be eligible. So that part of the bill, and as I understand the sponsors, in order to do that, it requires more revenue, theoretically, because there'll be more requests from DMV. And the additional money, if there's additional money, goes to a worthy cause to help support the families in the foundation.
Mr. Chairman, with respect to the extension of time, I think we're, from my perspective, I'm very supportive of that.
Do we have any data?
I'm not in support of raising the price of this that then will generate and produce less revenue to support the service.
I understand your point. My point is that the extended amount is to cover costs, and then anything over that goes to help the families in the foundation.
Yeah.
Point well taken, but I respectfully disagree.
I just asked our consultant that the issue that was raised by Senator Harman about and then also by Senator Ashburn about declining sales. It is not just the firefighter's license plate that there's been declining sales. All, I think, of these unique plates during this economic recession, there has been. Right, but I don't have any data to indicate that these. We just know overall there have been a decline. I have no data to indicate that these have been declining. I have not seen that. It may be true. I just have not seen that data, that firefighters' plates have been declining. We know that specialized license plates in general have been declining. Witness is in support.
But I think she needs CPR, so maybe if there's a firefighter nearby.
Members, thank you of the committee, Christy Bauma, representing the California Professional Firefighters. I think I can pass their wellness fitness test for the job, but it is not clear at this moment. Our Firefighter Memorial Program, the California Fire Foundation that supports family members of fallen firefighters, does get data through the Department of Motor Vehicles because they get the proceeds that they're entitled to, so they have noticed a dip in registrations and renewals. But even more than that, their obligations have grown in this economy. And they have programs to support the widows and orphans of firefighters that are doing great work in their communities. We just had a Fresno young lady who participated in a Fire Foundation program who went through the program, learned the exit route in her home, and then subsequently had a fire the next week and helped escort her entire family to safety before they were lost in a tragic apartment fire. So we are trying to, make sure this program serves the needs of those in the community and the firefighters who perish in the line of duty to support their families. And it's a self-funded program because the only people allowed to buy specialized firefighter plates are firefighters. So we urge your support.
Before you arrived and started to gasp, the issue had come up that we understand, especially the time limit, extending the time that a surviving spouse can do. The question came up, we understand that there has been a declining sale of these license plates in general, not just these all special. And so the question is, will there be, with the increase in fees to make up for that, to keep the program whole, will we have an unintended consequence that is that this very raising will even suppress the sales even more? Would you like to address that as the sponsor?
Voodoo economics.
Right. Mr. Chair, anecdotally, all I can say is that, firefighters are closer to their pennies than most people I know, but they're energetic supporters of this program. So at best, this could be a pilot for you to determine whether this does discourage them from getting these plates. We did not increase it beyond what all the other special plate programs are. We brought the fees up to where all the other special plate programs are. So I could say we could be a test case, but I don't really know how it will impact their registrations. It's a
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's a reasonable response to the question.
I think so.
Are there any other questions? Senator Harmon.
Well, let me ask the witness as long as she's catching her breath. I asked before you arrived the source of revenue for the Memorial Fund, and I'm just trying to figure out how much of that Memorial Fund funding comes from this DMV special license, and I'm sure you have other sources, particularly just plain straight contributions and things like that, but how important is this funding from this licensure situation to the fund?
So what's interesting is that this legislature authorized the building of the memorial many years ago, and we just celebrated our 10th anniversary of having memorial ceremonies. And the families that come and draw comfort from participating in that event, it's astounding. They come back year after year, and so it has continued to exponentially grow. And so we do certainly are always looking for more to support those programs. But you also asked a question about, there is a firefighter tax checkoff program that is exclusively to be used to maintain the grounds of the memorial throughout the year. So that is a separate funding stream that cannot support any of these other programs that I talked about. And then, of course, we do what we can to fundraise into the program.
But would it be fair to say that the majority of the funding for the memorial does come from the DMV license, special license?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
That's what I need to know. Thank you.
Would you like me to do anything else, Mr. Chair?
Yes,
Perhaps,
if you'd like to respond to that.
No.
You don't want to respond. Will you respond to it? Now we're going beyond
whatever
motivation.
I do as directed by the chair.
Please go forward and respond to the. What was the question? Was there?
I think the witness already did, Mr. Chair.
Okay, fine.
While you were talking to your chief consultant.
Oh, we now have enough. The members have returned. Let's have the secretary please call the roll.
Ashburn?
No, roll.
I'm sorry.
Just the roll. No, he's not here. Let's do that one. Lowenthal.
He doesn't want to be here.
We're going to start all over again.
Lowenthal?
And this is a model, either here or present.
This is a pilot.
Or not present. Present.
Lowenthal here. Huff? Huff here. Ashburn?
Present.
Ashburn. Ashburn here. DeSaulnier?
Present and pleasant.
DeSaulnier here. Harmon? Here. Harmon here. Kehoe?
Here.
Kehoe here. Pavley? Simidian? Wolk? Wolk here.
This is good. This is sorry.
20.
Yeah, that should be 20. But I copied yours.
We have 7 members here.
Okay, we have 7 members. Is there a motion on SB 88? Been moved by Senator Kehoe. Senator DeSaulnier, would you like to close?
I would respectfully ask for all of your votes, please. Yours would be particularly important to me, Senator Ashburn.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Lowenthal?
Aye.
Lowenthal, aye. Huff? Ashburn? No. Ashburn, no. DeSaulnier?
Aye.
DeSaulnier, aye. Harmon? Aye. Harmon, aye. Kehoe?
Aye.
Kehoe, aye. Pavley? Simidian? Wolk? Wolk, aye. 5-1.
Bill has 5 votes sufficient for passage. We're going to place that.
Oh.
Bill has 6 votes sufficient for passage, but we're going to place that bill on call for the absent members. Next is there a motion as amended in committee on AB 1078? Assemblymember Fewer has been moved by Senator Walk. Would you like, Secretary, please call the roll as amended on AB 1078?
Lowenthal?
Aye.
Lowenthal, aye. Huff?
Aye.
Huff, aye. Ashburn? DeSaulnier? DeSaulnier, aye. Harmon? Harmon, aye. Kehoe?
Aye.
Kehoe, aye. Pavley? Simidian? Wolk?
Aye.
Wolk, aye. Ashburn, aye. 7-0.
That bill has 7 votes, sufficient for passage. That bill is out. Who's going to stay? Okay, let's leave the roll open. Then let's not close the roll on that.
Okay.
Let's leave the roll open for both SB 88 and AB 1078. We'll leave the roll open on those two. And Senator DeSaulnier, will you? I have to go down. Will you stay?
Sorry. Did you hear all the chair?
Okay. Okay.
Oh, you ran aground? Oh, yeah, I kept it. Woman overboard. Everybody needs to safely, but I didn't damage my property. You hit him up when you're out? I didn't hear a thing from you. So, did you have insurance? Anyway, so I keep getting stuff by your office and go, we can still have dinner, but we can't take care of it. Well, so now we've got this week and next week, and she starts a new class. She got it, I'm not sure what's going to happen. But I do think we'll probably come up over the interim at some point. And the first item will just be coming up.
Okay.
SB 88 is the DeSaulnier bill.
Right. Absent members. Pavley? Pavley, aye. Simidian? So it's 7-1.
7. Thank you, Senator DeSaulnier. Your fine bill is out. We'll call the absent members on the next. Wait just a second. Order, please.
All right. Thanks. We'll keep each other posted. Good.
Pavley? Pavley, aye.
This is the Fiore bill.
Simidian? 1078.
Oh, Pavley, aye. That's on the LA County Transit.
Pavley, aye. Simidian?
Yeah.
Thank you, Senators.
That's 8-0.
8-0, that bill is out. Please say that bill is out.
That bill is out.
We're adjourned.
We're adjourned.